Guys, you know that feeling you get in the morning after a big night out? Because our friends at ZBiotics are here to help. ZBiotics, pre-alcohol probiotic drink, is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. Invented by PhD scientists, designed to tackle tough mornings the night after drinking. Here's how this works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct that goes to your gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol creates an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make ZBiotics your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly. ZBiotics pre-alcohol is perfect for those who always have their health in mind and are looking to master the balance of work and play. So I want you to level up your recovery, and I want you to do it today. I'll get you 15% off your first order at checkout. All you got to do is click on the link in the description. Plus, ZBiotics offers a 100% money-back guarantee. If you are not satisfied for any reason, they will refund all of your money, no questions asked. What I find most interesting about what's going on with Charles Oliveira is there is not an inside scoop, and I just thought that there was. Whatever Ilia Topuria is going to do next is obviously set in stone. We just haven't been told. Right? No way that the face of Spain, undefeated world champion, who many said he actually came in second on this ballot, but many argued that Ilia Topuria was the fighter of 2024. You know what? You know what? Son of a bitch, did he win that? No, he did not. He did not win that. Alex Pereira did. But many said a win over Volk and a win over Max, win over the number 1 pound for pound and the number 5, a win over the world champion and the BMF champion, both by finish. Many said that he should have won it. Daniel Cormier for one. I believe that John Anik also stood with Poirier on that argument. But my point is, there's no way that we, the audience, believe what's next for him is not already set in stone. We just haven't been told. And that's a very common thing at the UFC. There's a reason there's press conferences, and it's a big piece of the business. And there's 33 people employed just for that one reason. That's how important that is. So if we start leaking information or getting information out, if we lose the wow factor of press conferences, right? If we can't control information at times, not only does it really hurt the business, it changes the business. And there's no business out there that doesn't control information. Having a business is two things. It's, yes, your profits must exceed your expenditures, but the second is the controlling of information. This sharing for you makes perfect sense, but it is a piece of this industry where two guys will have a deal, a resolution but then we, the public, won't be told. They will be told, save this until we get to Toronto. We're going to reveal it on the backside of press conference at UFC 189. All right. So, example. So, very clearly, that is what has happened with Ilia Topuria. Calls up the UFC. He lets them know, I'm giving this belt back. He does everything right so that the UFC can get on with it, and they are. They're going to hold a pay-per-view main event with two absolute juggernauts in a sold-out venue in Miami. Like, the UFC took the information that Ilia gave them, in many ways a generosity, right? In many ways, this fight doesn't happen. This opportunity for Lopez and Volk doesn't even exist if it's not for Ilia. And that's the other side of him vacating. It took a massive courage. If you're the locker room and you're trying to keep morale high, you cannot have some champion holding up your belt. So big deal. Like, Ilia did everything right. So we're going to have to know and assume that as those conversations are taking place, as that becomes official, somewhere along the way, what we are going to do with you, Ilia, is going to have come up. But Charles has been doing interviews lately. One with me this week. One with a young reporter out of New York called Ariel Helwani. And it's very clear he doesn't know. It's very clear that Charles does not know what's going on in that division where he happens to be ranked number 1. Is he going to have to deal with Ilia? Is he going to have to deal with Islam? Is he the odd man out? Then Ilia does an interview. And it becomes very clear. Ilia does not have a deal in place to fight with Islam Makhachev. And we're hearing things like the word Ramadan as reasons why we're not going to see Islam. I will just remind you guys, every single year we have the same conversation, particularly about the boys out of Dagestan. And never in any of these years has any of those guys missed a match. So I don't know all of the policies and the rules and the beliefs on that topic. I can just tell you it's a subject that never goes away, and it's a subject that has never once actually flared its head. But let's say we're in the middle of the first time. Why would we not just wait for Ilia versus Islam? It's not like that fight works. I mean, just to share with you, that's not a big fight. I know that Ilia will think this is, and I know that Islam, and they think that this is really, and it's champion versus champion. It's none of those things, just so you understand. It's a guy that is perceived to be too small. Coming into a weight class where he's never won, taking on the guy that's ranked in front of Jon Jones for pound GOAT. That's how that is being viewed. Now, because it's being viewed that way, I'm not hating on the fight. You could run that fight right now and you'd have a top 5 fight of 2025. I'm just sharing for you as far as just being a mega man champion versus champion. This is the biggest thing that you could do. Stop. It's none of those things. And it doesn't matter if you do it a month from now or you do it 5 months from now. There's nothing that matters. There's nothing within that media tour that's going to change. That's a big fight. But it's not what they think it is. Now, so what's the difference? I mean, we keep having to hear and talk about Ramadan. What's the difference? Wait. If you're saying that we got to wait, go ahead. It doesn't change the fight. Nobody's clamoring for that fight now, and they're not going to be clamoring for it then. And that's a good fight. That fight would work, for sure. That's where it ends. So if that is in fact the issue, just wait. Stop talking. But they're not stopping talking, and they don't have a deal in place. And there is room, very much, for Ilia versus Charles. In fact, I'm having a very hard time if everything we're told is true. See, I'm resisting that. I don't think everything we've been told is true. That's the part I'm resisting. I'm coming here and I'm making a big statement to you guys that the Ramadan comes up every year, but never once have the boys from Dagestan missed a fight because of Ramadan. Well, I didn't actually check that. I know these guys and I follow the sport really close and I talk to Ali all the time. I never had that come up, so I feel very confident when I tell you that. But being confident and being accurate aren't always the same thing. And it's a peculiar spot, I must say. It's a very peculiar spot. So, if all of these things are going to be true, then what difference does it make? If everything that we're saying is true, that would include me saying that Islam versus Ilia is not the fight they think it is. It's not the fight Russia or Spain thinks it is, not worldwide. In North America, it's not any bigger, just further than Sarukian versus Islam. You could have 3 months to build that fight. It won't be any bigger than the 24 hours you had to put Money Moicano in on absolutely no notice. I mean, that turned into a real thing. That actually gave a bounce. So if everything we're saying is true, it would include that statement by me, right there. And if that's the case, then we got to get Charles versus Islam. And I apologize, we got to get Charles versus Ilia and have Islam wait. Charles versus Islam after Charles beats Ilia. Ilia versus Islam after Ilia beats Charles. They are wildly different fights. So if, and that being the key word to this entire 9 minutes and 31 seconds of your life, if all the statements are true, then let's just do Charles versus Ilia. They can't stand each other. They know they're going to fight anyway. Both of them are saying if I win the belt, I draw into you. Both of them are saying if I lose the belt, you would draw into Islam. Like everybody's acknowledging you're next. I don't think you're now. I think I should be now. I think you should be next. But there's still a compliment in there for everybody, right? Even if you tell a guy, hey, you're not now. This is my opportunity. Go F yourself. You're next. Well, it's not fully an insult. Of all of Earth, your biggest rival is saying, yeah, you're one of the guys, but you're just, it should be me first. What are we waiting on? Why can't I ever win? Why can't I ever get my way? Why can't I just have the matches I want? One time. But if I had that power and I could use it one time, that's how badly I want to see that fight. I would use that power. I would cash that magic wand in right now. Charles versus Topuria. #1 contenders match. Winner takes on Islam. Fight me.